Let's talk about how to grip the mallets when you're playing keyboard percussion instruments. It's much the same as when you're playing snare drum, although the shaft on a mallet is much thinner than a snare drum stick. So we're going to grip the stick in between our thumb and index finger at the fulcrum. Let the mallet rest in the palm of our hand, and the other three fingers will wrap loosely around the mallet. Your left hand is going to have the exact same grip. Now let's put our arms down at our side and then lift the mallets up to a comfortable playing height. To do this, our arms will be slightly below parallel, which allows our shoulders and elbows to be relaxed. The basic playing stroke on the keyboard mallet instruments is much the same motion as when you're dribbling a basketball. So you want your wrist and your fingers to be relaxed. And you want the mallet to be able to move freely in the hand. You're not going to squeeze it while you're making the stroke. You're going to keep your fingers and your wrist relaxed so that mallet can move freely. The keyboard instrument doesn't have any rebound, so although you're getting a full stroke down and up with each note that you play, your wrist is having to take care of most of that motion. It's a good idea when you're getting started on a keyboard mallet instrument to isolate your hands. So start by getting comfortable with playing just right hand notes. And then try the same with the left hand. The most important thing to remember with your keyboard percussion playing technique is that you want to stay nice and relaxed. No tension in your shoulders or forearms while you're playing. When you're ready to play single alternating strokes on a keyboard percussion instrument, you need to think about where you're going to strike the bar. Now, we already said the best sounding spot on the bar, the sweet spot, is in the middle of the bar above the resonator. So that's where you're going to want to strike. But since the bar is so small, both mallets aren't going to fit on the bar at the same time. Now, you want to avoid having the mallets in different positions with one mallet above the other mallet, because then you're not playing in the same beating area with both mallets. Our primary concern is always having the best sound and a very consistent sound. So, to make this happen, you can strike both mallets in the center of the bar on the sweet spot by just lifting one mallet out of the way when it's done playing so that the other can strike the bar. It looks like this. A good way to practice single alternating strokes on a keyboard percussion instrument is to start on one bar. And then when you're comfortable playing single alternating strokes on one bar, you can move up and down the instrument. And the same always applies. You want to get the best sound possible. So make sure that you're always striking the bar in the sweet spot. You want to think about all of the same things when you're playing on the accidentals that you were thinking about when you were playing on the naturals. You always want to get the best sound, so play in the center of the bar. When you're playing music that moves back and forth between the natural keys and the accidental keys, you want to keep all the same sound concepts in mind. So you always want to play in the sweet spot, in the center of the bar. In certain faster passages, you may not have time to get the mallet all the way up into the center of the accidental. So, if that's the case, you can also get a good sound by playing on the edge of the bar. If you are going to play on the edge of the bar, be very careful that you're actually playing on the far outside edge, because if you play too far in, then you'll hear a dead sound as you're playing on the node.